1.1.2, we have another expression. We have x, open bracket, 7x plus 2, close bracket, equal to a positive 1. So we're still solving for x, but in this case our answer has to be correct to 2 decimal places. So the first thing we'll do is to expand. So x multiplied by 7x, that is 7x squared. X multiplied by 2, that is plus 2x, equal to a positive 1. Let's take the positive 1 from the right hand side to the left hand side. So we'll subtract 1 and subtract 1 here, such that we'll have 7x squared plus 2x minus 1 equal to 0. So now we have a quadratic equation. So in order to solve for x with quadratic equation, on 1.1 we used a method called factorizing to solve for x. Again, we will try using the factorizing method in this case. So to factorize such quadratic equations, we have to multiply the coefficient of the leading term and the constant. So in this case, that is 7 and negative 1. 7 multiplied by negative 1, that is a negative 7. So the next step is to find the factors of 7. We have 1 and 7. So those are the only two factors we have. So with these two factors, we have to get a negative 7 when we multiply them, also get a positive 2 when we add them, which is the coefficient of this x. But it seems like we can never get a positive 2 when we add these two factors, no matter how we change them, whether the 1 is negative or the 7 is negative, we can never get a positive 2. So that means we cannot factorize this quadratic equation. So what do we do when a quadratic equation cannot be factorized? We use one other method, which is using the quadratic formula. So we have the quadratic formula which gives us x. So with the formula which is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So in this case, we have a as the coefficient of the leading term, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant. So let us substitute in the formula and see what we get for the values of x. So we'll have our x equal to minus b. So b, we have a positive 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared. So b, we have 2, but b is squared here, so we'll have 2 squared as well, and minus 4a. A will have the coefficient of the leading term, or the coefficient of x squared, that is the 7. And then c, we have the constant. So the constant, will take it with its sign, that is negative 1. All this is over 2a. So a, we have 7, which is the coefficient of x squared. So now we have x is equal to negative 1 multiplied by 2, that is negative 2, plus or minus. Do not ever drop this plus or minus. Don't ever leave it behind, because that's how you get two values, or the two values of x. So now we have the root 2 squared, that is 4, minus 4 multiplied by 7, that is a 28, multiplied by negative 1, that is negative 28. All this is over 2 multiplied by 7, that is a 14. So now we have x is equal to -2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus -28. So this is the same as 4 plus 28. So now we will have 32, because 4 plus 28 is 32. So all this is over 14. Alright, we just used a clean page. So we have x is equal to -2 plus or minus the square root of 32 over 14. Because we have plus or minus here, so that means we have to get two values. For the first value, we will use the plus. So that is x is equal to -2 plus the root of 32 over 14. Or for the second value of x, we will use the minus. So x is equal to -2 minus the square root of 32 over 14. So now let us punch these in our calculators to see what values we get for x when we use the plus and for x when we use the minus here. Okay, so we have -2 plus the square root of 32. All this is over 14. So we get an answer which looks like that. If we change that into decimal, we get a 0.261 here, but our answer is supposed to be in 2 decimal places as the question has instructed us. So to 2 decimal places, that is 0.26. So what happens when we use the minus? -2 minus the square root of 32. All this is over 14. We get an answer that looks like that, but if we change that to decimal, we get an answer of -0.5469. Yeah. So our answer is supposed to be in 2 decimal places, so that is -0.55. So that is 0.55, and that is just how we solve for the value of x in this expression. Okay, next we have 1.1.3.